was the boy from a working-class background who made it his life's mission to entertain and heal the world at the same time. With a soaring voice and moves that belied his age, the youngest member of the Jackson 5 soon became the one to watch. And the world never stopped watching Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson changed my life. When I saw him moonwalk, when I heard him sing, when I seen him perform, he was life-changing. He's the greatest artist of our time. You know, period, point blank.
Safe to say, inspiration for you?
Definitely an inspiration for myself and all artists, all recording artists. I don't think there's nobody that could actually see a Michael Jackson and not say their life hasn't been changed or they haven't been inspired.
In the headquarters of culture, in the temple of black entertainment, on the stage that produced the Sarah Vaughns and the Ella Fitzgeralds and the Jackie Wilsons and the James Browns. On this stage, we want to send a message around the world that you can write what you want and say what you want. Michael Jackson was ours, and we are Michael Jackson, and we love Michael Jackson.
Creating music that became the soundtrack to people's lives the world over, the sheer impact of Michael Jackson on generations of people cannot be underestimated.
I grew up from Michael Jackson when I was a little girl, only 8 years old. My mother, my family have his record, you know. Little kid, I was thinking about his song.
But it was also Michael's magical moves that beguiled audiences. A particular signature step would change the face of dance forever.
I called Michael up and I said, Michael, I know you and you know me, and you know this television show is not a television show. This is Motown 25. And he said, I'll be there. And he came there, and then he did the moonwalk.
But this was just a walk in the park for Mr. Michael Jackson, who, let's face it, had a whole life of career-defining moments. With an estimated 800 million Michael Jackson albums finding their way into people's homes around the world, the King of Pop had made an indelible mark on history. And with his untimely passing in 2009, the impact of his ability to touch people through music was brought into full light. A few hours after the devastating news of his death, devoted fans just couldn't get enough of the man whose music they'd grown up with.
In the 3 days after his death, he sold about 2.6 million tracks in total. The week before he died, he sold about 10,000 copies of his albums, all told. The 3 days following his death, he sold about 420,000 copies of his albums, all told. So, you know, the interest that you're seeing in this is really substantial.
It was people power at its finest. The fans were voting with their wallets and telling the world where they thought Michael Jackson should be, and should always be, back on top of the U.S. music charts at #1. And that's exactly where 3 of his albums would land. Essential Michael Jackson, #1s, and Thriller sitting proudly in the top 3 spots.
What's actually even more amazing than that, to me, is that 3 of those albums have outsold the #1 selling album on the Contemporary Albums chart.
In the meantime, his supporters clung in hope to the swirling rumors that Michael had in fact left a treasure trove of unreleased music for his fans to cherish after his passing. In particular, there were known to be unheard tracks from studio sessions of his more famous albums, which had never seen the light of day. Not to mention more recently recorded songs with artists such as Akon and will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas. Tommy Mottola, the former chairman and CEO of Sony Music, which owns the distribution rights to Michael's music, described the unreleased material as endless. He went on to say that new and repackaged Michael Jackson releases could go on for years and years, even more than Elvis. As the days went by after Michael's death, the faithful were demanding more and more of the King of Pop, and were simply not ready to let go of this iconic figure who had made such an impact on their lives. Thankfully, behind the scenes, plans were afoot to give the people what they were asking for. And fans didn't have to wait long for the first posthumous single, This Is It. Delivered under strict security, eager fans hit the streets of London, happy to forego sleep to get their hands on the new CD. Based on the phenomenal ticket sales for Michael's This Is It series of concerts, it was clear that the public had never wavered in support of their pop hero. And even though it could sometimes be years between album releases, whenever Michael hit the stage, his fans proved they would always be there, right by his side. And so the masterminds behind the This Is It tour agreed that they couldn't let Michael's fans down, just as they had never let him down, and a plan was hatched in the form of a brand new This Is It movie.
We have 100 hours of the most intimate HD footage of every audition, every rehearsal, everything. Okay, Michael really let the cameras come in. He felt comfortable. We were all family. In a way, he's not always that comfortable, public. So we have that in HD. We have almost, pretty much a full performance, you know, dress rehearsal, and we have enough material for 2 live albums, which is never put out. So we have all that material.
Yes, This Is It was being given a new lease on life. And after hours of painstakingly assembling rehearsal footage, fans around the globe turned out for the premiere of the movie that captured the last days of Michael Jackson in all his talented glory.
When you think of Michael Jackson, you don't think of him not being here. He just was a gift from God, you know, for real. He brung nations together. He brung color lines together. You know, he donated maybe more money than we ever probably see in our life, you know, from when he was coming up. And to me, that's an angel right there. That's a strong angel.
So I think Michael will be very, very pleased to know that they're seeing what he had ready.
A film like This Is It had never been released in cinemas before. So after it earned $20.1 million at the worldwide box office on its first day, many industry insiders were wondering what to make of the figures. Plans were already being drawn up for the DVD release of This Is It, with Michael's people knowing full well that no self-discerning Jackson fan would pass up the opportunity to own never-seen-before footage of the great man himself in full flight.
What you are going to get in the bonus material with the DVD is, you know, a number of really, you know, jam-packed hours of more behind the scenes, more interviews, more of Michael, and but I mean I think we tell the story here, and I think that was the idea, to tell the story here.
But for the die-hard fans, a film was not enough to commemorate their hero's sudden passing. As renewed feelings of love for Michael swept the world, it became clear that there was only one way to show thanks for all the music and good times, with one massive global thriller dance. Yes, it was a frightful scene in Los Angeles, as more than 4,000 fully made-up dancers gathered to remember Michael Jackson by dancing to his iconic song, Thriller. But it wasn't only in America that fans were getting down and dirty and decidedly spooky. Fans also turned up to pay their respects across 37 countries worldwide. All told, an estimated 20,000 people were believed to have set a record for the largest simultaneous Thriller dance routine. And with professional dancers on site to give new thrillers a helping hand, the scene was set for some massive monster moves.